Hi, thank you for joining me in this video, and I'm going to have a quick look at the masking tools that sort of come with every video clip that you work with, and I'll explain sort of what masking is as well, in case you're sort of new to it and haven't heard of that before. But basically, if you select a clip, there's a range of effects that come as standard with every clip, right? So whether it's piece of text or anything else. So position, scale, you can adjust all of these without having to put any other kind of effect on. All you need to do, like I said, is select the clip, and on the left-hand side, on the Effect Controls tab, you should have these effects built in. Rotation is another one, and so on. Okay, one of those is along with opacity. Okay, you'll see which controls transparency basically, doesn't it? If something is completely opaque, you can see it, or it's completely transparent and you can see directly through it and see at the moment that there's obviously nothing but black underneath. So those kind of properties are just there by default. Alongside that transparency control, we also have the ability to draw shapes where we can choose where we want things to be transparent, where we don't. So in other words, if I kind of create a shape, you can see everything outside of it is transparent. I can move but the shape around that little box I clicked, and the shape, everything inside it is opaque. And then you'll see you have a few other options in there. So you have like a feather, which if I pull, you'll see is basically about softening the edges. Yeah, so the feather gives you sort of a nice soft edge. And then obviously we can change a few other settings like opacity we obviously are already aware of within that shape. And then we have expansion, which is just we can make the shape come out, or we can make it go in if we go into the minus. Okay, or we can invert it, and we might say actually no, we want to see everything outside the shape and not inside the shape. So you kind of standard options. I'm going to just undo that shape for now. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm looking at titles in this set of videos. So I'm going to create a video title. Okay. And once I've done that, go back to my selection tool, and I'm just going to go to the graphics tab here so that we get the controls for that title. So let's just zoom in a little bit, and let's make that a little bit longer. Okay, go to edit. And so here are my properties for the title, and I'm just going to make it a little bit larger, right? Okay, I think we looked at previously as well, drop shadows and things like that, which I guess I could turn up. Can't really see the drop shadow on that, unusual. Is it on? Well, you know what? Not too fussed about that right now. Shadow is on, yeah, according to this. Oh, transparent, I should have gone the other way. There we go. Hopefully, is that bringing it back? I'm not really seeing it. Wait, this is how far out it comes from the shape. So let's see if we can see that. Um, a little unusual. Oh wait, that's the shadow color. I'm going to click on that and select, see if I can select a darker value perhaps. And see if that helps. No. Okay, so unusually, I've turned the shadow on, but it doesn't seem to give me a color for it. Unusual. Right, okay. Oh wait, I had pulled it the wrong way. My mistake. There we go. There is the shadow. Okay, we got there in the end. I'd pulled the slider the wrong way. Sorry, 100% obviously opaque and 0 was transparent. Let's put that closer. So I was adjusting all these settings for no reason. Anyway, sorry, I just want to set the title up, say around here. And let's have a look at this video. So it plays through. Great, and goes like that. So let's go to about there. I'm going to just zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to just stretch my title out there so it fills that space. And what I'm going to do, okay, it's a bit unusual because obviously we want a title to be readable, but I'm going to click on that title property and I'm going to actually hide it a little bit. I'm going to look at that opacity setting. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to zoom in to say 100% so I can see that a bit closer. Okay, and move around. And then basically, as we looked at before, we can have a shape that lets us see the video clip, in this case the text, because that's the layer on, or not see it. Right, well, we can also just draw a shape. So I'm going to use the free draw button, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click, so you can click to create points. Oh, at least I should be able to. Let's get rid of that mask in case I did something wrong. Let's try again. Click. Oh, yeah, okay, so let me just try clicking a few areas here, and doesn't seem to like that. So it's great. Today, everything that could go wrong is going wrong. So let's just draw a quick shape. See if we can do that. Oops. Right. Let's zoom out for a second, shall we? And see what's going on here. So we've got no masks. Click the shape. Okay, so I've clicked the shape and it's created one over there. And you can see I can move it around. And it's kind of either inside the shape or outside it. Okay, if it's outside the shape, you can't see it. It's a bit unusual that we can't actually see the points. So I think the issue I'm getting is that I'm creating the shape certainly. So if I click around here, you can see I've created the shape, except I'm unable to see the points on my computer for some reason. So that sounds like a monitor issue. So let's just double check if there are any properties for showing any kind of overlays. Oh wait, we're on graphics. Let's jump back into the editing view, see if that changes anything at all. There we go. So that seems to bring it up. So for some reason in the graphic view sort of hides the overlays. So I'm going to go back to the pen tool, which is going to allow me to now draw a shape. All I can say is that, you know what, you're going to get some problems on any software, right? Or little issues. It's good to kind of, just identify these as we're going along. So I'm going to click now, right? And what I'm going to do as well is rather than just clicking, I want to click and drag. If I click and drag, you'll see I create these handles, which actually allow me to curve points, which can be really useful. So I'm going to create a few points. Now, actually, I only need a few, and that's it. So I don't really need any more. So I'm going to just create a big shape down here. I'm not going to bother. Try to have fewer points as possible as well. So notice that it is keeping what's in the shape and not showing what's outside. I actually want the opposite. So in this case, let's just zoom out for a second. Let's go to fit. And let's tick inverted, okay? And by ticking inverted, you can see it's doing the other thing. So let's just, what I wanted. So let's click off the shape so it gets rid of the highlights as well. There we go, so the overlays. So we can see what it starts to look like. Now, what we'll probably find is, as nice as that looks there, if you look at it closely, I was going to say it's not that great, but actually I'm quite happy with that. So that's worked out quite well. Now what we can do, in fact, it's already got a bit of a fuzziness to it, but if we needed to, this is where, remember we looked at the feather. Okay, so it already has a feather on. Brilliant. So it doesn't start with a 0 feather. If that feather was 0, the edges would be too sharp. If you look at that as 0, yeah, well, I say that, but yeah, I do feel that they're just a little bit too sharp. So maybe the answer is somewhere in the middle. So if we got like 5 or something, there we go. Just add that little bit of softness. It gives us that feeling of blur. Now, that's great. It works on frame 1. Well, let's move through a bit. Oh, now it doesn't work very well because the shape is obviously just sitting there on the text and the video is moving. But that's okay, because all we really need to do, remember, we can animate. Okay, so the mask path is the thing that controls the shape. So we turn keyframes on. So at that point, it will keep that shape. And then all you need to do is jump forward a few frames. Okay, so I've jumped forward about 6 frames. And mask path is on. So if I click the word mask path, it should bring all the points up. And you can find that, oops, I don't want to add a point. I'm just going to check. Do I have the option to, so it seems to be sort of giving me a plus symbol, hopefully. Yeah, and that's kind of adding a point, and I don't want to do that. I just want to move the shape. Let me just try clicking my selection tool, because my selection tool should now allow me to, oh no, actually it does, even though it's giving me a plus, it does allow me to move the points. Right, so there we go. So sorry about that. So what I want to do now is just set those points up to where that I think is just the the shape's rotate control. So I'm going to try to just move some of these points. I think I'm going to move that one then. There we go. And so you can readjust it, right? So we kind of readjust it to where it should go. And I'm just going to move that back and forth a bit. Let's deselect that for a second. So you can see I've kind of created over the shape. And if we go back, hopefully it'll generally, maybe not. So in some places you'll find it still won't work properly and you have to go back in and tweak it. Okay, but that's fine. So we can go back in, click the word mask path, and we just adjust the shape again. And so you can see it's actually a lot of work as well. Oops, I'm pulling a handle, not a point there. So just be careful what you're pulling as well. And you can see it's a bit tricky. So just keep that in mind. And what we can do, like I said, is pull these back and we just kind of keep going in and adjusting it. So it doesn't have to be anything that takes that happens over a long period of time, because as you can see, it actually takes a lot of work to do. However, let me just undo that, and there we go. Right. If we can, right, so I can't seem to select the points very well, and I think that's just because I'm so zoomed out as well, possibly, that it makes it a bit harder sometimes to just be over a point. If I zoom in a bit, it's usually a bit easier. That's weird, because that is a point, but I keep getting the hand symbol, not the pen symbol, like so. So as you can see, it's always a bit tricky with this and a bit annoying. Be careful not to create multiple shapes as well. I'm going to see if I can, there we go. So even though it's giving me the hand symbol, it's allowing me to move that when I move in a bit closer. Oh, also, this is one of the reasons why I tried not to create too many points. The more points you have, the longer it will take you to sort of do this. So usually you want less points and sort of more curves on them and things like that. Yeah, use handles to curve the points rather than having too many. But anyway, so there we go. So we've got that. And what will start to happen, okay, is as it moves, and again, we can see, so I've only done it for a few frames, but okay, so it gets up to about 4 frames so far, but as it moves, it should look like it's moving behind the person's or staying behind the person's shoulder. Okay, let's go back to fit, and so you can see that takes a little bit of tweaking, but it should hopefully move around and look like it's sort of staying behind there. So we can use masking to really embed titles and so on into the video rather than just having them as being something on top. Okay, but feel free to give that a go and see if you can get it to work a little bit better than I did. Okay, thanks for watching.